Welcome to Dear Dilemma, where you send in your dilemmas and we answer them. Do you need an outside perspective?
Advice anonymously?
We're here to help. I'm Brooke.
And I'm Hannah.
And this is
Dear Dilemma.
Welcome back to Dear Dilemma. This week is Spooky Season! So, today's episode and Thursday's episode that happens to drop on Halloween, we're switching things up a bit. We're going to get a little spooky for this Halloween holiday season. And it's nothing crazy. It's nothing, well, it is a little crazy because it's true. And it happened. So, we've been asking you, watchers, to write in if you've ever had a situation with like a ghost experience or a situation that you just cannot explain, whether you've seen something or
Heard something, just something weird, odd that you can't explain.
Yeah, write it in, because not only will we have it for this week episode, but if we get more in, we would love to just toss it in, you know, another episode here or there, just to switch it up and make it fun. So with all of that, today we're going to talk about Hannah and I's experiences, because we both have a few. We even have one together.
Yes.
Look at that.
Yeah.
We did not summon anything negative, by the way. I rebuke any juju. Back in the day, before I got into church, I was all about like trying to find the motorcycle road and Chapel Hill. Now I'm like, that's some bad juju. We ain't messing with Ouija boards. Not anymore. I'm like, get that out of here.
We just summon good spirits to us.
I mean, I like
guardian angels.
Haunted house because it's fake. But, but I will say. So, what do you want to? How do you want to start this?
I was gonna say, who wants to go first? Because we both have a lot. I feel like.
Okay, I will start with one of mine. So, growing up where I lived in our town is called like the old Richmond district area. So these houses have been around for like
hundreds and hundreds
1700, of years. Like a long time. I don't know if they were like the first houses in Richmond built, but they're pretty old. They're pretty old. Very cute, pretty old. And I was young, and my brother and I went to bed. Let me tell you, I still don't like going to my dad's house.
Also, just for the record, I never liked going to your dad's house either when I was younger.
I feel like when I'm there, like I'm being watched. I don't know. I still don't like going. So anyways, my brother and I went to bed, and our rooms are right across from each other upstairs. And now in our house, we have a walk-in attic, and then we also have an upstairs attic. And in between in our hall is like my bedroom, his bedroom, and the upstairs attic. And I am not kidding you. We both heard someone walking up around the attic and walking down the stairs. And we both, I remember like crawling to the door. And I was like, did you hear that? And he was like, did you hear that? And we both screamed.
You guys both heard it.
Both heard it. And we scream, and we're like, you know, because my parents were probably like, oh my gosh, there's an intruder. And my dad went up there, never found anything. And you know what his excuse is? Every single time something has happened at my dad's house, his excuse is, well, it's just your great-great-grandfather wanting to say hi. I don't care who it is. Get your little bougie booty on out my house because I don't feel comfortable. Yeah. I still can't like going over there. My dad's like, you can go do this. I'm like, I really don't want to, Dad. I really don't want to. So yeah, that is one of my many stories at my dad's house. And by the way, things did not start happening apparently until they started remodeling the house. So we remodeled like the kitchen and upstairs.
Oh, I've heard that. Like if you
if you don't do it.
If you have a place that's like getting remodeled, that's when like the ghosts come out.
Oh, that's
what I've heard.
They came out, and I got more. Hannah, you're up.
Wait, okay. So, growing up in my house,
the big
house at the end of the lane.
Such a nice house, but so scary.
It was so scary. Okay, so this house was
beautiful.
It was pretty large. Like it was big, but there were like floor to ceiling windows in the main floor.
Yep.
And I always just felt really weird at night. I hated it. I will tell you, like, so I spent a lot of time at home because my parents worked a lot late during those years. And so I was freaked out. I always felt like somebody was watching me. Same kind of thing. Just bad vibes, you know?
Yeah, bad juju.
I just couldn't put a finger on it, but I just never felt comfortable at home.
Yeah.
I always would walk in and there was just this heaviness at that house.
Yep.
So I have a few stories that are kind of weird.
One of them involves your girl.
Yes. I'm going to tell a couple first, and then we're going to go into the one about you and me that we both experienced, which is kind of weird. But there was one point, so we had in our kitchen, it was an exhaust fan, okay? So it would actually come out of the countertop.
Okay.
So, like, you're cooking on the stovetop, and it comes up, like, you push a button, and it comes up.
Okay.
Fancy. Does the exhaust, whatever, and then you push a button, and it goes back down.
She lived in a fancy house.
Okay, but listen. My mom unplugged it. The fan kept going up and down. Up
And it can't.
And down,
It can't.
Up and down.
Just like continuously. Was it malfunctioning?
It was going up and down.
Are you sure it wasn't malfunctioning?
But it was unplugged. There was no power to it.
Okay, but how do we explain Furbies? And when they don't have batteries in them, they still be chatting it up.
Listen, it was creepy. Okay. So then, I have 2 more stories.
Okay.
So I had a bonfire.
I love ghost bonding with other people.
Yeah. I had a bonfire at my house, and you were there.
Yep.
So you actually kind of know about this one, too.
Yep.
So we had a friend, so there was like we were on 4 acres. There was like pastures out in like a barn. The barn was super creepy. I always felt like there was going to be like a rocking chair at the top with just some like creepy person looking at me. I don't know. It was just weird. But we were through the barn and out into the pasture playing, and like, I think we were kicking balls around. I don't know. We were just kids. We were in middle school. And our friend, came running up to me, bawling uncontrollably.
True.
And was like, I'm never coming back to your house ever again. I'm so freaked out. Like, she was so serious, though. And she called her parents. Her parents came and got her. Like, she wanted out of there immediately.
We were not bullying. No. Something happened.
I was like, what happened to you?
Yeah.
She's like, I went to go pick up the ball, and something touched me. Like, ran up my arm, and nobody was there. I'm freaked out. I'm never coming back to your house again. Mm-hmm. And then, I mean, it's kind of funny because I don't think she ever.
Did I ever come back to your house after my experience?
I think you did.
Trauma.
I think maybe.
We trauma bonded.
So the big story, though, that I'll share about this house.
That she did not inform me clearly before coming over.
Yeah. So
I always warned my friends.
One night.
No.
It was a dark and stormy night. So, in the middle of the night, the alarm system starts going off.
Oh,
in
intruder.
House, right? So, my dad goes down there with his baseball bat.
Because what's that going to do?
And
was back in the day.
So, he goes down there, and he's like, what the heck? So, the alarm system said front door open or whatever. Deadbolted shut. All of the doors were deadbolted shut. Like, they were all closed.
Okay.
Whatever. But it said it was open. And so it alarmed, and it immediately called the police out because, of course, it just automatically called with the alarm system.
I've seen this movie before.
So my dad's like, oh my gosh, somebody's trying to break in.
Yeah.
He's freaking out. The cops get there. And this is his story he told us, okay? He's like, knock, knock, knock. The cops came, and they're like, you have ghosts out here, right?
What?
Literally what the cops said to him. The very first thing.
Do they
And he goes, what are you talking about? He said, the cops go, we don't patrol this area anymore. There were 2 cops that got chased by red eyes.
At your house? Or like because there
in
was
that
a neighborhood.
Area.
There was a neighborhood.
That small little area, though, they said they don't ever patrol back there. They got chased out by some red eyes, chasing after them, and they were like, yeah, we don't come back over here. But they were like, they went around, they checked the perimeter, nobody was there, nothing ever happened.
I would love, we can't do this because, we'll probably get shot. But I would love to go back to your house and knock on the door and interview the people.
Oh my gosh, I know. I wonder if they had any issues too. But my dad, we were all laughing about this like years later, but he slept on the couch with a baseball bat for a week after that.
Thinking that it was...
Oh, I'm like, what are you going to do? Like beat a ghost up with a bat?
I was going to ask you, did he think that it was like he was concerned for a ghost, or was he concerned of like...
Maybe both. I don't really know.
Did he believe in it?
I don't know if he did or not. I would have to ask him now, but he was like definitely freaked out about it. I remember him being freaked out. And then
True. Facts.
After that incident happened, I do remember very vividly one night, and I haven't told you this either. I was laying in my
I'm
bed
so
trying to
glad you
fall
got out of
asleep.
this house.
It was an awful, like, I really legit think it was haunted. Like, it was not.
Well,
it was just bad vibes all the way around.
My personal,
Yeah.
100%.
But I think it was like, you know how there's a difference between like good haunting and bad haunting?
Yeah.
Like you can tell that there's spirits around you, but they're good.
I've had a good one at the museum. We'll get to that.
Okay. Yeah, I think there's a difference.
I have proof, and I would show you, but we're recording on my phone. We'll get to this. I'll have you insert mine photo.
Okay.
Because I have photo proof of a ghost.
Okay, that's crazy. I didn't know that.
We'll get to this. Keep going.
Okay, but so I remember very vividly. I was laying in my bed trying to go to sleep, and it was at this house, and it's creepy, and it's hard. It was hard for me to fall asleep at night. I just never felt comfortable. All of a sudden, I hear bloody murder, blood-curdling screaming, like a lady, like she was getting ready to get murdered. Like it was so loud, piercing.
They used to live where it's like outskirts of town.
Yeah, my dad actually found out later, Indian burial ground, like back past the pastures in the woods.
That makes sense.
So, I mean, there might have been some creepy stuff.
That makes sense.
This was such a loud scream. It sounded like it was coming right outside of my window. Okay, but there was nobody around.
Did no one hear, like,
nobody
your
else
sister or anyone?
Nobody else heard it.
Just you?
Just me. And I remember being so frozen with fear. I could not move. And it was like like the sleep paralysis. Yeah. Like I wasn't asleep, but I was so scared I couldn't move. I just kept hearing the screaming and it wouldn't stop. It literally would not stop. It was going on and on and on, and she kept screaming. And it was so loud, it felt like it was right there.
And nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
Like when did it stop?
Well, so eventually I was able to move enough to grab.
She was like Hermione stuck in the pose.
Yeah. So I finally reached over and very quickly grabbed my iPod back in the day, the iPod Shuffle.
We didn't have cell phones, y'all.
Threw my headphones in and just started to play some music.
You didn't get up to go investigate?
I was so scared I couldn't move.
Or yell for your parents?
Reaching for my iPod Shuffle was the only thing that I could do. I was so paralyzed by fear.
Anytime I have a dream where I'm encountering a ghost, it always ends up being at my dad's house, and I'm having a dream of I'm seeing a ghost, and I'm trying to scream go away. I can't ever scream because I'm so fear-stricken.
Yeah.
But I think in real life, when it did happen to me, I didn't. I would have, it's opposite.
You would have screamed?
We'll get to there. I did scream.
You should share about your story at my house, because it really didn't have to do with, I wasn't really involved in it. It was you and my mom.
No, well, you heard it too, though.
I never heard it.
I thought you heard it.
I never heard it.
Okay, so I was staying at Hannah's house one night, and we were sleeping in the basement. It's a finished basement, nice basement. And I thought that you heard this, but I guess not. So I remember waking up. I couldn't sleep that night anyways. And I heard this loud, something drop and hit the floor. And you're in the basement. You don't have windows. We don't know what time it was. And we obviously didn't have phones. We don't know if it's 2 a.m. or 8 a.m. We're kids. We don't know. So I just ignored it and went back to sleep. The next day, we come upstairs. This is Hannah. I was like, you need to move this ASAP. Bye. Her mom said, what would she say? Did you get the pots out or something?
Yeah, she was like, what, were you guys playing with the pots last night?
Because
in the middle of the night?
The pots weren't even out drying or in the sink, was it? They were all, everything was put up. She found a pot in the middle of the kitchen floor. Explain that. And then you guys didn't have animals.
No. And I thought that you guys heard almost somebody doing dishes, banging around.
I just heard it sounded like this. But loud upstairs. And I was like, oh, her mom's silly her. She's dropping things.
So.
No, she wasn't.
Weird.
No, she was not dropping things. So it wasn't us. They didn't have any animals. All the pots and pans were put up. And she found it on the floor. And I said, gotta go. Mom, come get me ASAP. I'm so scared for my life.
For real.
So 100% that place is creepy.
Yeah.
But I'm so interested. I wish it'd be weird.
Ever since then, I've been very aware of the places that I've lived. and how I feel when I walk into them. I'm like, does it feel okay? Does it feel light, airy? Like there's good vibes, good spirits, or like is it bad? Yeah. Because I've walked into some places and I'm like, this isn't for me because I just don't feel right here.
Yeah. Or like house-wise, like when I bought my house, and you know, he would travel for paintball and stuff, I'd be by myself. And growing up being at like my parents' house, I didn't like being by myself. And there I don't feel anything. So I'm like, okay, well there's nothing here, obviously, because I'm not feeling anything. I just know, like, I'm not saying I don't do any of that. I just get that feeling like something's here that's not supposed to be here. Like you just get that.
I think you just get like a heavy feeling if it's bad, and you get maybe no feeling at all if it's good.
Yeah. Well, here's another one from my dad's house. So, and our friend, she was over, and we have the house used to be a half, or what do they call them, half doubles or whatever.
Oh, duplex.
And now it's like one big house, and so we took out the middle of the door, whatever. And there was a mirror on the wall, so like if you were at the computer, you could look back and see the stairs, and you could see the mirror. And one time I was on the computer and I looked back, and I saw a shadow, like they were on the mirror, like they were walking. No one was home. I was by myself, but like
I remember this.
I called, and I was like, I ran, and by the way, back then we didn't have cell phones. We had house phones. So I grabbed the cordless and I ran outside and I called, and my mom was like, well, I can't come because I'm at work. I don't know if I had called you. I remember calling like Cindy, and I was like, someone please come over. Like I cannot go back in this house. And then one time, so our friend was over, or it was just me and her. And I'd gotten in the shower, and I don't know if she was on the computer or where she was at downstairs, but she said she had thought she'd seen a glimpse of like a woman walk past her, and she yelled out my mom's name. And when I got out of the shower, she's like, your mom was just here. And I was like, no, she's not. She's at work. Explain that one.
That's so creepy.
Oh, so then years later, so we would tell my dad everything, all this stuff that would happen. He's like, oh, yeah, it's not real, blah, blah, blah. It's your great grandpa, blah, whatever. Finally, years later, I'm in college. Okay, this all happened like middle school and high school age. I'm in college, and we're out to eat. He goes, remember that times like you guys used to tell me all these things used to happen, and I would just brush it off?
Did he admit it?
He had an experience.
No, he didn't.
Finally, he was sleeping on the couch, taking a nap, and it's like a long couch. So he said he woke up and the cushion by his feet went down like someone was sitting. And he's looking at it, and then it went back up.
Stop.
Explain that. I was like, oh, finally.
Finally, after years of living in that house.
And he still lives there, people. He still lives there. I'm just like, I don't like going over there. I like to get in, especially at night. I'm in and out. I do not like it at all.
Yeah, tell me about this museum story, though. I've never heard this.
Okay, so our museum, we all know is creepy. It's just, old artifacts and stuff like that just creeps me out anyways. And in our museum, we have a showroom. So I had won tickets to do like the haunted museum tour or whatever, where they like have the paranormal team. Again, my church people don't come at me. I've had experiences, so like I can't deny that stuff's real and it happens. So anyways, I won tickets, and my friend and I went, and we're doing the tour, and then they give you all like the tools and stuff, and like obviously nothing's happening, and they're trying to make it like something's going on. We get down to the car area, and we're standing in front of the museum's the lady who funded it, who started it, and we're still there today. And we're standing in front of her car. That's still there today, not her. She's dead. She's long gone, obviously, because I saw her.
Oh my gosh.
And we're talking, and my friend had like their camera, so like if you take pictures, it's supposed to show like if there's orbs or anything like that, like a special camera that they use. And I'm like, the car's here, and we're talking, and I'm not kidding you, and I have proof. And it finally took years later for that proof to come to light. I turned just to glance at the car, I'm like, oh, I'm learning of history. And I turned, and I just went, I saw her in the back seat.
No, you didn't.
Yes, and I have proof. I wish I had, if we were not recording on my phone, I would pull it, which I'm going to after this. I have proof. We will put this in the video. I turn around real fast. I see her. She's faint, and she's just sitting like this in the back seat. And I gasp. At that time, my friend snaps a photo because she saw it, snaps a photo. The group's like, what's going on? I said, I just saw her. And it wasn't like a scary thing. It wasn't like, you know,
She was just sitting there. Like,
she was just, it was kind of cool actually, because I'm like, I don't know. So some of that stuff is kind of interesting to me. And we look back and she's gone, like very quick. And so we go back on the camera. Mind you, there's hundreds of pictures because they've been taking pictures. Can't find this picture, blah, blah, blah. Fast forward to like years later. I'm at the museum with my old job with some kids, and it was around the Halloween time because it's really cool what they do for Halloween. They deck it all out and you can go, it's really cool. And they were like, oh yeah, well, like we were by her big old, there's a huge painting of her in the museum. And the lady was like, oh yeah, like it was actually funny, like years ago they were doing this ghost hunt and they claimed they saw her in the car, and we found this years later, like the picture.
they had the picture of
They
you
had the picture. I said,
at the museum.
I said, that was me.
No way.
I saw her. I cannot wait to show you guys, because if you see a side-by-side of the mural, which I took a picture of, and the picture of her sitting in the car, it is the same nose, the same double chin.
That is crazy. And you can see it on the photo.
You can see it on the photo. It's very faint, but you can see her whole outline. Like, if you look side by side, you can see everything. It is like the one thing, girl, don't haunt me, but I love you. We all got them double chins. Like, that was a main factor, because I was like, she's got double chin in that, she's got double chin over here. It was the craziest thing, but it didn't come to light until years later.
That's wild.
And no one believed me. So we went back last year because my brother was like, I don't believe you. And I was like, okay, I'm going to prove you wrong. Nothing happened. But it is such a fun thing to pull up and tell people, because
That's cool.
when you have proof like that, like you can tell stories and people won't believe you. But if you have proof.
Yeah. And you know, some people are open to the experiences of,
Some people are.
I don't want to say like ghosts, but like spirits in general.
Talking about it, yeah.
And some people are just so closed off. Like my sister, for instance, is like a very analytical person, and I don't think that she's actually genuinely like had an experience because she's not open to it.
Yeah.
So I think that if you're more,
Is that what's wrong with us? We're too open to it because
Probably.
and then like they
because we're like empathetic, and I think that they like catch on to it.
yeah.
I think that
No bad things have happened.
no,
Minus your house with like our friend and stuff.
that was like kind of weird. I didn't really love that house, but I never felt like it was like the devil or demons or anything like that.
Bad juju, get that out. But you can't deny, and no matter like religiously and stuff, like now you're not supposed to go and do all that. That's why we have like trunk or treat. But I can't help it. Like if I've had a personal experience, I can't deny that. So yeah, in Thursday's episode, we're going to talk. Please, if you haven't, send in your stories. Again, it doesn't have anything to do with ghosts. It could be like you saw something in the sky, didn't make sense, like anything.
Yeah, weird experience, whatever.
Send it in. We'll drop the link on our Instagram at Dear Dilemma Official. Click on it there, and yeah, we're interested to see what experiences you have had. And stay tuned for Thursday as we read those out during Halloween. Ooh, spooky.